Okay, so we are here. We're going to be talking about persuasion today, and I want to wish everyone a good morning. It's a wonderful Friday, and welcome to our online workshop. The title is a long title, right? The critical elements of persuasion in business to generate sales that you must know and implement immediately. So, here's my interpretation. Okay, persuasion is the process of projecting your beliefs and convictions onto somebody else. It's not about getting others to acknowledge your arguments or agree with your business case or your business opinion. It's more about making them internalize your message because they believe that it's in their best interest. Okay, and ultimately, persuasion is the ability to get into emotions and reach, well, on different levels, and reach the deeper subconscious decision making process or program within that person. So professional salespeople know what to say, and they know what to sorry, they know what to say, and they know how to say it, right? Let me get this up here for me as well. Okay. Okay. And so, like I was saying, professional salespeople know what to say and how to say it. They have the ability to influence, because we're talking about persuasion and influence, right? They have the ability to influence their prospects to trust them and to follow their advice. And that's when we go into the consultative selling, the consultative approach. And to me, this is the essence. This is the essence. This is the skill of persuasion. Okay. So let me ask you a question. So if you answer, if you think the answer is yes, just type yes in the chat. If you think maybe, type maybe in the chat. If you think the answer is no, type no in the chat. All right. So the answers are yes, maybe, or no. Hold on. Okay. Yes, maybe, or no. So the question is, do you think it would make a difference? Do you think it would make a difference in your business and career if you were more persuasive and more compelling in your conversations? So that's the question. The question is what you see on your screen. The type in yes or no or maybe in the chat. All right. While you're typing a lot of yeses, awesome. See, persuasion is a very ethical thing. Many people think it's a shady tactic uh, that involves convincing people to do things they don't want to do, but it's actually the opposite of that. Persuasion is all about getting emotional engagement. It's emotional engagement with other people. If somebody feels like what you're saying to them is fun or worth their time or is going to make them look good in front of somebody else or make them money, then you're setting yourself up to be persuasive in sales. You see, you're answering yes, right? All of you answering yes. Yes, it'll make a difference in my business and career if I were more persuasive. But this one, don't answer in the chat. Just answer in your head. Are you persuasive enough? Okay. If you're not persuasive enough, what do we do about that? You see, persuasion is a skill. It's a skill, and this skill can be learned. Okay, and we're going to be talking about some of those things that you can take and put into your business and your sales conversations, talking with prospects and clients. All right, so we'll cover some of those things in this session today. Now, I always make this promise. Um, I respect your time and your effort in being here with us on this session. I will not waste your time. That's my first promise, okay? And I commit to you, I promise to you that I will share relevant and valuable information on this session. You don't need to, believe everything I say. You don't need to think, I like and trust Chris. I'll back up everything I share with you. And I think that's fair, right? So we are recording this session. We'll get it sent out to you within 24 hours as, a private YouTube link. So, oh no, it'll come out as a YouTube link, right? So you can replay, you can fast forward, and you can rewind the parts that you want to hear, that you want to watch again. All right. I attend at least two, possibly three webinars a week. From other people. One of the things I get really irritated on is they say, "Oh, this session is 1 hour or 1.5 hours," and it ends up being 2 to 2.5 hours. And the reason it becomes, a 2 hour thing is because they're pitching and they're pitching and they're pitching. So, and, they share a little bit of things and then they take 1 hour to pitch, their product or their service, which is, always overpriced anyway, right? So, my sessions are not a pitch fest. There's no hard selling and there's no getting you to buy anything at an unreasonable or inflated price. Now, I will offer some services and products and explain them, but no hard selling. I think this sounds fair, right? And I want to ask you a favor. You probably have questions along the way. I am monitoring the chat. Sometimes you see me look off on this way or that way. I do have a couple different screens here to help me monitor everything that's going on. So if you have questions, you can either type it in the chat or you can write them down and you can ask me at the end of our session because we do have a Q&A. But if you put your question in the chat, I'll look at it and I'll do my best to answer it either right away or during the Q&A. And if I forget to answer a question, please remind me. All right? Because we're all human beings, I hope, right? Okay. So, I wasn't always good in selling. I was really not good at prospecting. I was terrible at qualifying prospects. I was afraid of objections. I couldn't close professionally, and my follow up was literally non-existent. Not now, before. Okay, and I was extremely average, or maybe sometimes even below average. And I was always struggling, and I was always trying to find out where my next deal was coming from. And maybe some of us experience this, right? Whatever your business, whatever your job is, maybe sometimes in the morning it's like you don't feel like waking up. It's like, oh, where am I going to get money today? Where am I going to find a lead? Where am I going to find a prospect? Okay, I'm not going to ask you to answer this. Just tell that to yourself. It's like, be honest with yourself. Do you sometimes feel that way? All right, and I know how that feels because I felt it before. All right. So what changed for me? What changed for me is that I realized I was lacking in skills. Like I said, I lack persuasion skills. I lack questioning skills. Um, my prospecting activities were so low because I didn't know how to do it the right way. I was always like shy to approach somebody. It was very ineffective. I was always afraid of objections, right? We get objections like, I want to think about it, it's too expensive, check with my wife, my boss, whoever, right? I was always afraid of the objections because I didn't know how to handle objections professionally, effectively. Okay. Um, I couldn't close deals. My closing ratio was so low. Uh, my follow up, as I said, my follow up was non existent because I hated following up. I hated like bothering people, right? Now, what changed was I learned these skills and I practiced and I took action. Am I perfect? No, I'm not. Some people say, hey, you know what? You're really good in sales. Am I a sales master? No, I'm not. All right. What I am though is I am a professional that has these skills that I learn and I practice it constantly and I implement it every single day. You must you must have practice. You must practice your skills every single day. Uh, I'm not saying you don't practice everything in one day. You must have a schedule where you practice your calling, you practice your scripts, you practice your questioning technique, you practice your handling objections. You got to practice it every day. Constant and correct practice gives you mastery. It doesn't make you perfect. It makes you on a level where your closing ratio is up. You have a constant flow of leads. You're always doing sales activities. So we must be able to do that. All right. Now, you all heard of cards, right? A deck of cards. Yes. Okay. Just raise your hand or thumbs up if you've heard of cards. Okay. Anybody know how many cards there are in a deck of cards? You can just type in the number without joker, without the jokers. Just type in the number of cards in a deck. Okay. It Celine, yes, without the Joker. With the Jokers, it could be 54 and higher. But usually without the Jokers, actually not usually, always without the Jokers, a full set of cards is 52. All right. And I've shared this before. When we prospect, right? It's like looking at a deck of cards, and in a deck of cards there's 52. And if we think about it this way, if we think that our qualified, interested prospects that can become clients, think of them as the aces. All right. In normal prospecting, what we do is we look at the 52, and then we go, wow, how do we find the aces? You see, our job is to find the aces, and that's in the normal sales process. And one of the things I say is that we have to flip over each card. We have to flip over each card in order to find the aces. And the aces are the qualified and interested prospects that have the possibility and the high probability to turn into deals. And we need to do everything in our power and use our skills to convert them. And one of the vital skills to do this is persuasion. Now, let me ask you this question. Uh, I'm going to ask you to type one thing in the chat. Is two simple letters. It's either IN or EX. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to type in the chat if you think that you are an introvert. If you think you're an introvert, type in the chat. If you think that you're an extrovert, if you think that you are an extrovert, uh, type in EX. Be very interesting. Let's see, Celine, introvert. Okay. If you think you're introvert, type IN. If you think you're extrovert, type EX. Okay. While you're doing that, Yan, EX, extrovert. Okay. All right. How about you, Yati? Have you put it in? Muhammad, introvert. Okay. Sorry, Muhammad Fahim. Okay, introvert. All right. And today we're going to discuss. Hold on, let me check this real quick. Okay, so uh, to me, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, it doesn't really matter. Okay, because let me ask you all this question. Just by looking or listening to me, do you believe I'm an introvert or extrovert? Just type in again IN or EX if you think I'm introvert or extrovert. Celine, you think I'm extrovert? Okay. What do y'all think? Just by looking and listening to me. Okay, that's very interesting. Uh, I'm introvert by nature. I'm extremely introverted by nature. I For me, I do not require contact. or interaction or activity and people, um, in person, in my personal character, I'm extremely introvert. Okay, in business, I behave like an extrovert. All right, and the reason the reason I can behave like an extrovert is not because I learned how to be an extrovert. It's because I've been able to teach myself, or I've been taught these skills, and it wasn't skills of being an extrovert or introvert, right? It was I was taught skills on, let's say, persuasion, questioning, having sales conversations, how to handle objections. I was taught these skills, or I learned these skills, and in the beginning was extremely difficult for me. It took a lot of learning, it took a lot of practice, and it took a lot of implementation. And this is exactly what I'm asking you to do. Okay, I'm asking you to learn these skills, practice them, and to take action every day. You see, you have the choice right now. We all have choices, right? You have the choice to either keep your results the same with the same action that you're taking right now. You see, if you we all say, "Oh yeah, I want higher results, I want more results, I want more income," correct? We all say those things, but we're not willing to learn the skills, and we're not willing to take the action that will give us a higher level of income or results. Okay, so you now have the choice. Every day we have the choice that either you can keep your results the same with the current action that you're taking, or you learn these skills and increase your income. So ask yourself this question, right? Which do you choose? See, for me, it's like an on-off switch. I can be introvert or extrovert by flipping a switch. And here's my point: don't let yourself think, don't let yourself think I'm shy. Uh, I don't know how to talk to people. Don't let those things hold you back. I promise you, you can learn. And the reason I know you can learn is that I was extremely shy, but I learned these skills and I practiced and I implemented it, and that's why most people think that I'm an extrovert. Okay, for some of you that have heard me tell my story, teenage hooligan, a bad student in school, a factory worker, soldier, ranch hand, tire changer. We can all change and improve. Okay, the results that you have today is based on the skills and the actions that you take today. So it's really your choice. Now, it's a learnable skill. Okay, persuasion and to a certain extent influence that in the uh, family. You know, it's skills that you can learn, and you don't need, and I'm sorry to say it this way, you don't need a high level of intelligence to learn these skills. I am proof of that. Okay, I am proof that it doesn't take a high level of intelligence, and it doesn't take um, it doesn't take an extrovert to learn all these things. All right, today we're going to discuss we're going to discuss overt, uh, actually, there's covert and overt persuasion and influence. Today we're going to discuss overt. All right, covert persuasion is more detailed and it's highly skilled. Overt means it's clear and open. Covert means it's like kind of hidden and under the radar. Now, persuasion is not manipulation. Okay, sometimes people think, oh, to persuade someone, I got to manipulate them. No, it's not manipulation. It's not manipulation when you have three basic criteria. Okay, the first criteria is this a real product? Is this a real service? Answer has to be yes, right? Will the other person benefit? The answer has to be yes. Can they afford it? The answer has to be yes. Okay, if you can answer to these three questions, it's your job to persuade. Okay, it's your job to persuade and influence that person because they're going to get a real benefit out of it. Because these people, don't these people deserve your product and your service, right? You all have heard of 2000, 9/11, right? 9/11 in 2001 in the U.S. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to share a quick story with you on persuasion and influence. All right. Now, what the story I'm about to share with you does not uh, fully adhere to those three basic criteria. Okay. So 9/11, a lot of businesses closing down. Almost every business was having challenges, even the business that I was in. All right. And I had I had responsibilities. I had things that I had to take care of. So as the boss, I motivate my team to do a little better, to do a little more, to do things a little bit different. But revenue was still because kind of like now, right? So what I did was, as the boss, yeah, I found a part-time job at night so I could earn money to take care. I mean, I took care of the company things, and then I had to take care of my family. So I found a part-time job. I think I worked there for I think maybe 4 months. Okay, so I found a part-time job. Uh, it was a company, and it was affiliated with the Policeman Fund in San Diego. Actually, the Policeman Fund in San Diego is the Sheriff's Association. Okay, so this company was affiliated with them. So what we did, I'll explain what we did, right? So my job was to make between 30 to 50 dials. Dials, yeah, that means you dial a number, 30 to 50 dials a night from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. So I was working basically 2.5 to 3 hours a night. Out of those 30 to 50 dials a night, I would reach maybe 15 to 20. So less than 50, less than 50%, way less than 50% would answer the phone and say hello. And I practiced that script and I said it so much more than 20 years ago. Actually, 20 years ago, right? Yeah, almost 20 years ago. I practiced that script so much that I still remember that script from 20 years ago. Okay. Basically, we would call somebody up. We would sell, like sponsorship packages that were, not expensive. They would get like a sticker. They would get like a little card. And the funds were used to support the policeman's fund. Okay. In case a policeman got injured or they got shot or something, it would take care of those expenses. All right. So the script started this way. We try to build instant trust and rapport. I'll talk about instant trust and rapport in a while. All right. So the script started with, "Hi, this is Chris. I'm calling from the San Diego Sheriff's Outreach Fund." And immediately, boom, it was like, "Oh yeah, the sheriffs are calling." I didn't say that I was calling from the sheriff's office. I didn't say that I was a sheriff. I said I was calling from the sheriff's fund, right? And then we spoke an undeniable truth. And John, as you know, being a law enforcement officer can be dangerous, right? And of course they say yes. Are they going to say no? It's not dangerous, right? And then the script went on, and then it said, and we need to do our part when the officers get injured or they don't make it home from work. You'd agree with me, right? And of course they would say yes, right? Then I would explain the package. They had a choice of three packages: package A, B, and C. Okay, they get a sticker they can put in the window, um, and then I would say, all these things. They would get all these things, but where I focus on is, you're going to get a sticker that you can put in your window that shows you support for our boys in blue. Now, in the U.S., when I was there, the police are also called the boys in blue, so it's like a nickname, right? So you get a sticker for the window that shows you support our boys in blue. So now I just made a statement, and if you think about it, uh, that's a hidden command. We'll talk about hidden commands as well. So what I told you was you support our boys in blue, right? Okay. Then we cannot lie, but we can make a joke, right? And then if you ever get stopped for speeding, that sticker that you have in the window. If you ever get stopped for speeding, I'm not saying it will get you out of a ticket, but it's going to help get you out of a ticket. And then I would laugh and say, no, 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 I'm just joking. Okay. Because we cannot promise that it'll get you out of a ticket, right? And then we ask the closing question: can we count on you to support our boys in blue, right? And then, some would say yes, some would say no, and then we would handle objections. We would go over a couple things, but if they said yes, we say, great. Do you want package A, B, or C? And of course, the script was a little bit more detailed than what I'm explaining right now. But with that script, my closing ratio on a one call close, that means I pick up the phone, I dial, I talk to someone, I close the deal, was about 35%. When we add in the follow up, it went up to about 55%. So out of the 30 to 50 dials I was making per night, now each package that we sold, the commission was about 18 US dollars. Okay, uh, so I made about 7 to 12 sales per night, $18 commission per sale. That means I was making between 150 and 180 dollars a night, about 3,600 US dollars a month, working 2.5 to 3 hours a night. You see, how I approach, everything that I do with the right ingredients. It's not whether I can make money tonight. It's not whether I can make money today. The with the right ingredients, with the right mix, yeah, is how much can I make today? How many deals can I close today? And this is the mentality that you should have, because persuasion works in almost any language. Whatever language you can think of, persuasion works in those languages. Okay. Now, as I said, we have two kinds of persuasion and influence. We have the overt and the covert. We're going to discuss components of the overt today, the clear persuasion. Covert persuasion is more detailed, and it's more highly skilled. Now, either one of these, whether it's covert or overt, both require trust and rapport. So, what is trust and what is rapport? Okay. Um, can you build these two things instantly? And the answer is yes. Trust can be built extremely quickly, and you can build instant rapport. Now, we're doing a training in July. It's a premier training. These sessions that you're on, it's free. But in July, we are having a paid session. I'll tell you more about it later. In that session, in the premier training in July, I'm going to share with you 6 rules, or actually 6 secrets of persuasion. Very, very powerful, that you can take and you can apply most of them in your business. I'm also going to teach you how to give hidden commands. I'm also going to teach you how to do story selling, how to use imagery and imagination, both overt and covert. Now, uh, when you have trust and rapport, when you have trust and rapport with a prospect or a client, if you can build to a certain level of trust and likability, because that's what rapport is, right? Is that they like you for some reason, right? If you can build a certain level of trust and likability, you can get almost anyone to do almost anything, and they feel happy to do it, but within legal and moral reasons. Okay, I want you to, I want you to imagine that you're able to have a great amount of trust and rapport with your prospects and clients. I want you to think about that to yourself right now. Okay, imagine you are able to have a great amount of trust and rapport with your clients. How would that change your results? How would it change your conversations? How would that impact your income? The basic question is, would you be able to take care of yourself a little bit better? And would you be able to take care of your family a little bit better? Okay. So, some people ask me, hey, Chris, where can I use persuasion? You can use it in any format, in any platform that you're selling, whether it's in person, on Zoom, video call, uh, when you message someone, okay, when you WhatsApp or you SMS, by phone, by email, on your website, on your social media posts, all of these you can make to be extremely persuasive. And I'm going to share with you the component that you have to use in order to make it persuasive. Okay, because most of the people that I come across, they think they're persuasive, but they're really talking about the wrong thing. Okay, so let's talk about the techniques. Okay, the techniques is if you have no rapport, their defenses come up. They give you vague or evasive answers. They don't answer your questions when you ask them, right? We've all experienced interactions and conversations like that, whether we are the prospect or we're dealing with the prospect. Okay, so when defenses are up, all right, when defenses are up, it's very hard to have a conversation, with a prospect. Okay, and for damn sure, if you do not have that, you're not going to close the deal. You're not going to close the deal unless your product is so one of a kind and the price is so cheap that it's like it doesn't make sense not to buy. Okay. The next one is commonality. You see, when most salespeople and business owners, entrepreneurs, they meet with prospective customers, they talk only in their own language, and they only talk about themselves or they only talk about the company. The subject of the conversation is me, my company, my this is my product's features, it's fantastic, it's the best in the world, this is what it does. Okay. Now when sales professionals meet with customers, they talk about them, them, their problem, their values, their plans, and their desires. They speak the customer's language in order to build rapport. Rapport is a special relationship between two individuals based upon harmonious communication. What does that mean? What it means is I like you and you like me. That's what it means. Okay. Now this occurs in many different forms and on many different levels. And a large amount of information is conveyed verbally, non-verbally, consciously, and subconsciously. And you must adapt the mental thinking and the language to mirror that of their customer. What does that mean? What it means is that you try to find similarity or commonality in our background, in our experience, in our language, in our posture. Now, in the training in July, I'm going to cover all of these in full detail. Okay, how you can build extreme, instant, and deep rapport with your prospects and with your clients. You see, without using the right language, and by language I don't mean English, Malay, Tagalog, Chinese, Mandarin, whatever. I'm not saying that. You must speak your client's language, and what it means is the way that they talk, the style of the way that they talk and communicate. You must be able to get close to that, because without using the right language, you won't be able to share your ideas. You cannot display your personality, and you cannot express yourself effectively. Now, then we talk about questions, right? Questions are either open ended, direct, or suggestive. All right. The problem with most salespeople and business owners in selling is they don't have a process to build predictable results from asking questions. Let's see, Celine. I'll cover that in a bit. All right, Celine. Celine's question is there a difference between rapport and reciprocity? Yes, there's a big difference, and I'll explain what that difference is. All right, during the Q&A. But just remind me to answer that question. Okay. So, you know, the most business people, most salespeople, they have a problem with selling because they don't have they don't have a process to build predictable results. You see, this is our problem. Most of us have this problem. It's like oh, this month is a great month. We got all these clients. We got all this money. And then next month it's like, hey, what happened to the money? How come no money is coming in? How come we cannot find clients? The reason that happens is because you were not consistent in your sales process. You see, what we need to do is we need to build predictable results. And the way we build predictable results is from our sales process by asking questions, by discovering the needs and all those things. Okay. And one of the best ways to do that and build rapport and get them to like you and to be persuasive and have influence is to ask questions. Okay, open-ended questions are, what do you think about, and then whatever the subject is, and then you let them talk. Open-ended questions can be a little bit dangerous, and if you don't have rapport with the person, they're just going to say, "Oh, I don't know," or they give you one word or two word answers. When you ask an open ended question and you find that they start talking a little bit more, that's when you know that you have trust and rapport. Okay, a direct question would be yes or no. Okay, do you think that this will help you? Yes or no. And then you have suggestive questions. Suggestive questions can also be, maybe you can call it rhetorical questions. All right, you don't really, really, really need an answer, but you ask the question because it makes them think, oh, yeah, actually, I do need this, right? So, all of these are skills, individual skills by themselves. And when you're able to build your questioning skills, you are at the same time building your persuasion and at the same time building your closing skills. All right, sounds a little bit weird, doesn't it? Okay, see, when you see, you've seen movies, you've seen or read stories, right? A good lawyer never asks a question they don't already know the answer to, and the same for a sales professional. A sales professional never asks a question that we already don't know the answer to. Sometimes we will ask the question and we'll get the prospect to answer, even if we know the answer, because we need them to answer that question, right? Um, so when we ask questions, we need to have a process. All my questions are written down. All right. We have to think about what types of questions we ask and how we ask those questions and lead the buyer toward an answer. Um, how do you have great results, and how do you become a high performing sales professional? This is I'm going to tell you the secret. Okay, the secret is, what do they want, why do they want it, and then give it to them. What do they want, and not what kind of product they want, right? What kind of benefit do they want? What kind of benefit do they want? What kind of outcome do they want? Why do they want that benefit? Why do they want that outcome? And you can close the deal. You see, as business owners and sales professionals, right? We need to ask uh, questions that come around these two things. Okay, what do you want? What is the benefit? What is the outcome that you want? And why do you want it? We need to get that out in the open. Okay, we need to get better at asking the questions that will help us understand a prospect's needs. We need to influence the prospect to see the wisdom of considering our proposed solution, and we need to show them how your product, your service can resolve their most pressing problem, and you're going to win the deal almost every single time. Okay, I'm going to share with you the persuasion, what I call the persuasion blueprint. Okay, the persuasion blueprint is, all these steps. I'm not going to read the steps, each step to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to explain each one briefly for you. All right. Now, the first one, the personalize the message. If you're looking to persuade a prospect to consider your product, you must use a script. You must, you must, you must use a script. It must be effective. It must be an effective and persuasive script. The script that I shared with you earlier, when I was doing that part-time job back in 2001, it was such a simple script, but it was so effective and it was extremely persuasive. And even though we had a script, and even though you should use a script, you must be flexible. Okay, think of the different scenarios and the situations, and have the proper response. Because every conversation, you see, each night I had to make in that simple job in 2.5 hours, I had to make between 30 and 50 calls. I would have about 15 to 20 conversations. I was saying the same thing over and over and over and over again, and it could get boring, right? But what you have to realize, I actually adjusted the script, Celine. The script that they gave was pretty pathetic, so I adjusted it, and it took me like maybe 3 to 5 days of trial and error before I hit upon that right formula. And when I hit upon that right formula, the manager of that shift saw my results shoot up, and then they saw the 2 or 3 guys around me that I kind of taught them what to say, and our results shot up. And then they shared that script with everybody, and everybody's results shot up. Okay, so let's see, where was I? Okay, so your script, even though it's simple, it has to be effective. It has to build rapport. It has to have an outcome. It has to have a purpose. Okay, and the bottom line is it must be persuasive. All right. And then when we focus on problem solving, instead of telling all the reasons why they should buy your product, because this can be very pushy, it can feel aggressive, it can feel desperate, right? Focus on why your product can help solve their problem. Keep their concerns up, and position your offer as a solution. Every you see, all of us here on this session, all of us have a product or service, right? And what we need to do is we need to figure out the people that we're talking to, what is their challenge, what is their problem, and then we tailor our presentation or conversation uh, specific for them. And they need to, even though you said these things hundreds of times or thousands of times, you have to remember your prospects are hearing it for the first time. You may have said it 50 times today, but the person you're talking to is hearing it for the first time. If your excitement is down, if your skill level is down, they're going to think that you're useless because it's like boring. And okay, so you have to make sure that you keep yourself fresh. All right. Social proof. For those of you that know me, interact with me, if we do things together, one of the first things I'll ask you is, testimonials, before and after pictures. Do you have videos? Do you have pictures? This is called social proof, and it can be an extremely powerful persuasion tactic. Okay, hold on, let me move this out a little bit. Okay, it can be extremely powerful, um, because if we don't fully have the trust and rapport, yes, Celine, um, I'm gonna ask you all this question in a bit, and then let's see what answers we come up with. There's a very simple way to do it. Okay, Celine's question is: Is there a proven way to help find out the prospect's problem to solve? And I'll share that in a remind me in a few minutes. Okay, so when we talk about social proof, the buyers or prospects, even though we have trust and rapport and we're building it, they may not fully take our word, because of course they know that we want to make a sale, right? Have you ever had a salesperson say, "Oh, I'm not concerned about the money. I'm more BS. Why do we work? Why are we doing the things that we do? Because yes, we want to make money. Yes, of course we say I want to help people, environment, and and all those things, right? We need the money. Okay. Now I will say this. Some people think that, oh, Chris only chases money, but I will say this: money isn't everything. I'm telling you, money isn't everything. All right, but everything needs money. Okay, and that's why we must earn money. Okay, so when I hear a salesperson or someone tell me, hey, you know what, I'm not concerned about the money, I want to help you, it's like, I don't believe you. And when somebody says that, I immediately lose trust. Okay, and I want you to never ever say that. If somebody says, hey, you want the money, right? Yeah, I want the money. Of course I want the money. Who doesn't want the money? I want the money only if my product and service helps you. I want to solve your problem. I want you to get the benefit, and I want you to pay for it so I can earn a living. Okay? But if it's not right for you, we're not gonna close the deal. Be upfront. Okay? Share success stories. The success stories that you have with your previous customers. It can be in a picture. It can be a video. It can be in a letter. Okay. Before we had this stuff called social media where we can everybody can just post pictures, right? I had a folder like that of letters from clients. Okay, and when we were in a conversation, I would send we would have several, but I would send the folder first so that they can look at all these letters, and then by the time I showed up, it was a different conversation. Okay, when we anticipate objections, okay, you're prepared for your sales call. You feel like you have a solid understanding of who the prospect is, and what they're looking for, right? Your notes are all typed out. You're ready to close the deal. Then, during the call or the presentation, the prospect gives you several objections, asking you questions and mentioning objections that you're not prepared for. To be persuasive, prepare for your sales conversations by brainstorming the possible objections a prospect may have to offer to you, and prepare talking points to overcome the objections. And then, decision making. You want your customers to buy from you because they truly want to, not because they feel like they're being pressured to, right? Nobody likes being told what to do, even though you have to do that sometimes. So sometimes you'll want to avoid being too direct, too fast. Okay? It's your job to provide information that makes choosing your product the right solution. But you must be able to push them along. Okay? If you're doing it the right way, they're going to thank you. If you're doing it the wrong way, they're going to feel like, why is he pressing me? All right. The personal connection. Human interaction. We're all willing to believe and engage and interact with people that we like. Buyers can like your product or your brand, but you are the face. You are the human connection representing your company, your product, and you need to build a genuine connection and get them to like you on a human level. And when you can do that, you're going to put yourself in a better position to have persuasive conversation. Okay, don't rush the process. Effective persuasion should feel natural. It should be like a two-way. You ask a question, they answer. You make a comment. And I'll teach you this I'll teach you exactly how to do this in the premier training in July. But I'll tell you about that later. Okay. Um, Persuasion should feel natural. They shouldn't feel pressured, but it doesn't mean that you cannot put in a sense of urgency and a sense of they need to make a decision now. All right. In fact, creating urgency, which is one of the six rules of persuasion, can be an extremely effective tactic. Okay. The tools. Let's talk about the tools and the actions that you need to take. You know what? Before that, let's get into this. Celine, your question was: is there a proven way to help find out the prospect's problem to solve? You know what? Let me unshare my screen. Let's have a conversation with everybody. Okay. if you're able to put on your video, let's put on your video, and let's have you either say out uh, say out how to find out the prospect's problem that you can solve, or you can type it in the chat. Let's do that. What do y'all think? So type in the chat or unmute yourself and say what is a way to help your to help find out what the prospect's problem is. How can we do that? There is no right or wrong answer. Anyone? Yes or no?
Sorry, Chris, what's your question again?
My question is, how can we find out what is the prospect's problem so that we can solve it? What are the ways in which we can do that?
I think it's only through constant conversation.
Okay. So when you say constant conversation, so for example, we would just be talking and talking, and then you find out the problem.
Yeah, towards certain area of conversation, not just free conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I do a quick role play with you, George?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go play. I'm actually driving.
Okay. Yes. Hello.
Yes.
Muhammad. Yes. Go
How
ahead,
about
Muhammad.
like we do survey like a Google
Okay. How long will that survey take?
Very short one because we try
Yeah,
to
but how long? How it can be long or short, but how long would that take?
we make some like a present, give a small token.
Okay.
When they answer the question, that with through the question we can get their their problem.
Okay, understood.
How do we? I don't know, but that's my
Okay,
idea.
but that's okay. What you're saying is that you're trying to get like a general idea of a. You see, what you're saying, yeah, Muhammad, is a certain type of demographic of people that is your potential client. You're trying to find out what problem they have, right?
Yes.
Correct. Okay.
Correct.
Here's what I will share with you. Here's what I will share with you. Uh, most people, most businesses have a few basic problems. Thank you for joining us, Fu. Okay, most people, most businesses, uh, Yan, you cannot say guess. We cannot guess what the problem is, because if we're guessing what the problem is, guess what? We won't close the deal. Okay, but you're right in the ask or anticipate. Now, most people basically will have these problems: not enough time, not enough money. Correct? These are the two basic problems, isn't it? Correct or not? Right?
Yes.
So if we extend it out, okay, Yan, you're a walking tour guide, correct? By profession, okay. Walking tour guide. Do they have no time? Is it the problem? Is it no time or no money? No, right? Okay.
No.
Your clients, your clients, their problem is they have stress in the city life, correct? And they want to
Correct.
relax in nature. So
Yes.
that's the problem that they have. All right.
Mhm.
So this is how you would do it. You're right. Just ask. You ask your prospect. Let's say let's say you ask 100 people. Hey, are you tired of city life? All of us would say yes right now, correct? Okay. But you ask your prospect, you tired and stressed of city life? If the answer is yes, then you ask the next question. Would taking would taking a hike in the beauty, greenery, and the freshness of nature, would that rejuvenate you? If the answer is yes, then you take it to the next step. But you see, if you say, "Hey, is city life giving you stress?" If they say no, what do? You brush them off and you go to the next one. Does that make sense? Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, does that make sense? Okay, for you, George, I know you're driving, so just listen to this part. In your business, it would be lack of time freedom and lack of money freedom. Basically, right? So a question you would ask is to identify the problem is, are you tired of having to choose between the cheap brand and the higher quality brand when you do your weekly groceries? That'd be a very simple question. And then if they say, yeah, you know what, I'm tired of buying the cheap lousy brand. I don't know. Okay, I'm tired of buying the cheap lousy brand instead of the premium brand. I'm tired of that. So that's a problem. And then you when you close, you don't say, hey, do you want to buy this? You close by saying, hey, George, um, uh, would when you take this, would you like to have the experience that you would never go back to buying the cheap, low quality brand ever again? And if they say yes, you close the deal. Does that make sense, ladies and gentlemen? Just raise your hand or thumbs up or give me a yes if it makes sense. Okay. Yes, yes, thumbs up. Yes or no? Can you all hear me? Okay, awesome. Celine, reciprocity and what was that other word you used? Rapport and reciprocity. Rapport means that you're in sync, and reciprocity uh, helps to build rapport. Okay, here's what I mean. Reciprocity, by definition, is the feeling of obligation to give back. And you actually touch on one of the persuasion secrets. Okay, for example, um, have you ever had this experience where somebody, not now, yeah, before, where somebody brought you for lunch, and then they blunder you or they treat you to the lunch, they pay for it, and then you try to pay, and then they say, no, 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 it's my treat, right? And then automatically what we think is, hmm, you know what, when can I take this person out so I can pay for the next meal, right? That's reciprocity. It's creating a feeling of obligation in the other person. Okay, it could be, when let's say someone visits your house and they bring you a gift, and you feel like, oh, you know what, I want to treat this person, like, I want to give like the best drink, the best snacks, or whatever, right? And then you think, when can I visit their house so I can get a gift back for them? That's reciprocity. Okay, does that make sense, Celine? Okay, let's get back to let's see the slides. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so we talk about the scripts and preparation. These are the tools and actions that you need to take. You need to practice and you need to role play. The hardest part is to prepare the script. Okay, but last week I sent over. Let's see. Last Friday we covered a cold call script. You need to have scripts for your objections, your closing, your questions. You need to have scripts for that. I'm not saying that you need to read each one word for word, but you guys, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have your scripts ready, then you're just doing different every single day. You're doing every conversation you have is different. Okay? You cannot project and you cannot anticipate what your results, your income is going to be next month. You cannot. If you don't have consistency, you cannot predict your income. And here's the final tip that I want to share with you today. And I think we actually covered it already. Okay. The final tip that I want to share with you today is you need to find out what your prospects need. Okay. And then give it to them. Okay. So what does that mean? What it means is you don't, we call it a word vomit, right? I don't know if you've heard of this, but we call it word vomit. Okay, do not word vomit on your prospect. Don't don't just let all the features come up from your mouth. Don't tell them every single thing about your product or service. Find out their specific needs, find out their specific challenges, and this requires trust and rapport, and then solve it for them or give it to them. Okay? So we are on session session 5 of 7. Okay? We have 2 more sessions after today. But I also want to share that I'm doing a special workshop on next Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 9, about 9:15, 9:30. Okay. On that special workshop, I'm going to be talking about digital sales funnels, how to use social media to generate leads, and I'll send you the information on that. Here's what I'll do. I'll get the information sent to you by WhatsApp. If you don't have WhatsApp, if you do not have WhatsApp, I'll send it to you by Viber. Okay. I know who has WhatsApp, who does not, who has Viber, who does not. All right. So I'll send it to you that way. I'll also send you this information by email. Uh, and if you're not getting my emails, check your junk folder or let me know, and we'll get it out to you. All right. Fu, I got to tell you, your camera today is fantastic. Is it a new camera? Yes, no, yes, no. Fu,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean. It's a new camera.
No, it's
I'm
the
telling
same.
you.
It's the same one, except the backdrop is blurred.
Okay, because you look more clear this way. Okay. Yeah. So I'll send you. I just had to compliment you because you look extremely good this morning. Okay. Um, so we have 2 more sessions on a Friday, and then I'll send you the details on the session on the online workshop we're doing next Wednesday. It's the 23rd of June. It's going to be from 8 p.m. to 9:15, 9:30 thereabouts. And we're going to be talking about digital sales funnels, social media, how to generate leads, and how to convert those into clients. Now, so I'll get all that sent out to you within 24 hours. Okay. Now, in the first week of July, I have a live webinar training. It's 3 half days. It's on the 6th and the 7th and the 8th of July, and it's advanced. It's advanced sales mastery and excellence. What does that mean? What it means is I'm going to be covering these topics. Okay. Up to now, this is the 5th session on a Friday. I've been sharing parts of these with you over the last 4 or 5 weeks. Okay, we still have 2 more to go, and we've already been selling ticket seats to the 6th and 7th and 8th of July. All right, I do want to limit it to about 40 people, but I'll share more details with you in a little bit. All right. So these are all the things that I'm going to be covering during those 3 half days. It goes from 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, uh, and I can tell you that nobody shares the level of depth and clarity in these topics. I'll share this with you also. I attended a webinar the other night where they said it was going to be like 1 hour. It ended up being almost 2.5 hours. They were talking about all these things, and they said they teach all these things, right? I believe some of you have had conversations with me over the phone. If you've had conversations with me over the phone or you've interacted with me, you will know for a fact that I implement everything that I teach. Okay, so I attended a webinar. I think it was 2 nights or 3 nights, 3 nights ago. Okay, and they said they covered these topics. Okay, and then the next day, they called me and tried to get me to buy the program. The program was like almost 2,000. It's like, how can you try? Okay, whatever. So they tried to charge 2,000 for this program, right? And then to test them, I said, no, you know what? I think that's too expensive for me. Maybe I need to think about it. If it was me, I would have a conversation of why is it too expensive? Why do you need to think about it? I would have a conversation. Anybody want to guess what their response was? Anybody would just want to unmute yourself and guess what the response was? Anybody want to guess, or just uh type in the your what do you think their response was? Type it in the chat. Okay, I'm going to tell you what their response was. Their response was, "Yes, Celine, you're right. You exactly right." Their response was, "Okay, thank you, goodbye." I was like, "What? You're trying to charge 2,000 for a course, and you're trying to teach people how to sell and handle objections, and I gave you a basic objection, and you told me, okay, thank you, goodbye." Okay. So we're gonna get into our Q&A in a minute. All right. Um, and the program, most of you know the price already. All right. Uh, I'm sorry, Fu, dude. Yeah, Fu. Let me cover that in a bit, because when somebody says that, uh, you don't have enough trust and rapport to ask for. If you're not interested, tell me who is, right? um, it's almost like, let's say you're dating and you tell this girl, hey, you're rejecting me because maybe you think I'm not good enough for you, but do you have any friends that you can hook me up with, that I can go on a date with? Do you see, everything in business and sales, yeah, we can put it into a male female relationship. Does that make sense, Fu? Right? So if, let's say, you got rejected by a girl, you don't ask the girl, uh, can you set me up with a friend that you think I would be good enough for, right? Okay, so we did this training. We actually, the basis of this training, yeah, is in a workshop setting. Okay, this is what we charge. All right, we did it online 2 times last year, and this is what we charge. And I hope the right price comes out for us. Okay, no, this is not the right price. Okay, it's actually 75 USD, but forget about 75 USD. It'll be 297 ringgit. Okay, for 297 ringgit, you get to have access to all of this information. Uh, and let me rephrase that. It's not information, yeah. I'm not giving you information. I'm going to be teaching you these techniques and how to use it and implement it in your business. And you would get that for 297 ringgit. All right, it's already discounted. I'm not going to give you a further discount. I'm not going to give you like bonus one, two, three, and then the bonuses are worth 10,000. Okay, I'm not going to do that. For those of you that know me, it's very simple. This is what I'm going to give you, and this is how much it is. All right, for 297, you get all these things. Okay, so the price is not 97. The price is actually 75. There's a QR code here, but you don't need to scan it right now, because I'm not going to ask you to buy it from this page, because on this page it actually shows that it's 75 USD, which is over 300 ringgit, which is over what is it? Is it 3,000? It's over 3,000 pesos. All right. Uh, it would be right around 3,000 pesos. It would be right around 297 ringgit. All right. And how you're going to buy these tickets is that there's a few ways. The first way, over the next 2 weeks, you can message me and say, "Hey, Chris, I want a ticket for the training in July." The other way is I'm gonna get in touch with you. I will probably call you. I will probably call you. If I cannot reach you, I'll send you a WhatsApp. But I will call you. I will call you within the next 2 weeks, before the end of June. Okay. So those are the couple ways that you can get. You can book your seat for this premier training event in July. If you think that if you've attended more than one session with me, I think most of you have. If you've attended more than one session with me, you will realize the amount of value and information. Let me, in fact, do this real quick. You will realize that amount of value and information that I give you on these sessions, uh, I believe is quite of a high quality and high standard. Maybe you would disagree. Um, if I'm giving you a high quality and a high standard on a free session, how much more quality and value do you think you would get on a paid session? Okay. Uh, so I will talk and get in touch with everyone within the next 2 weeks. Okay. So let's do this. Let's do our Q&A right now. Do you have any questions? Celine, did I address all the questions for you? I think I did, right? And does anybody have any questions uh, about what we covered so far today? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Celine. While you're thinking of questions, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the live stream right now. Okay, if I can ask everyone a favor to put your video on, I'd like to take a group picture of us. Okay, Valerie, Ash, the other CKR. That's my other device there monitoring. Cecil, Rosalie. We gotta ask Rosalie, what is that pink color, Rosalie? I don't know what that means. Okay, Valerie, Ash, Cecil, can you put your videos on so we can take a quick picture? George and Celine, if we can ask you to do the, I think Celine, if you can ask you to do the same thing real quick, if you're able to. Okay, we got a 2 for 1 over there. Valerie and Ash and Rosalie, can we get your videos on? Because I'm going to take a picture in a second. If not, that's fine. Okay, on the count of three, everybody looks serious. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Man, that's your serious face. I would love to see the happy face. Okay, everybody look happy now. On the count of three, give your biggest, greatest smile. 1, 2, 3. That's a wonderful smile, Fool and Cecil. Okay, now let's do one last one where we act crazy, but Celine and George always act crazy, so that's normal to them. On the count of three, we can do wacky, we can do whatever we want, and on the count of three, 1, 2, 3. Fool, awesome. Yati, awesome. Oh, I got that, Muhammad. I'm going to blackmail you for those pictures. Okay. Okay. So while we're thinking of that, while we were doing the pictures, do we have any questions about the topic today, or any questions that you want to ask about your business? Uh, while you're thinking, if you have a question, uh, if there are no questions, we will end our session in about 1 minute. Okay, so 60 seconds. Uh, no questions. Okay, no questions. I want to thank everyone for the time that we shared together today. Fu, I know you came in a little bit late. No worries. We're going to send out the recording within 24 hours. And I want to wish everyone to stay safe and blessings for all of us. All right. Have a fantastic weekend, and I will see you all hopefully next Wednesday and next Friday, and in the training in July. All right. Thank you so much. Deeply appreciate the time that we share together. Okay. Thank you, everybody.